Well, with only 70 days remaining now until the 2024 presidential election, Donald Trump continues to gain support from the Latino community, as he should, and not just because of their conservative beliefs or their faith in God, but because of the economic policies which Donald Trump supports. With RFK Jr. dropping out of the race this past Friday and endorsing former President Donald Trump, the question remains, will the Latino voters who supported RFK Jr. come across the line and support Team Trump? Here with me to discuss this is the CEO of Latino Wall Street and the head of Latino Outreach for RFK Jr., Gabby Baraspi. Gabby, nice to have you here.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, it's been quite a few days. We had RFK Jr. on Friday come out and say, look, I have been gamed at every turn by the Democrats. They wouldn't allow me to compete fairly in the primaries, and they've taken me to court to try to block me on ballots all across this country. Today, Tulsi Gabbard came out. So she's on board with Donald Trump. Seems to be a movement going on, Gabby. Will the people, and it depends on where you looked. RFK Jr. was pulling as much as 10 and 12% in some polls. Will those folks come over and support Donald Trump based on his endorsement?
I actually think it's becoming an easier choice. For Latinos, one of the topics we care about the most is actually corruption, right? Because where we come from, there's a lot of corruption. And we've seen what they have done to both Trump and Kennedy. We've seen that happen in our home countries, now how bad it's ended. So I think now it's become a matter of, are we going to choose a party that's literally trying to jail their opponents and do whatever it takes to take them off the ballot, go against them, weaponize the system, the same exact things we've been through in our home countries, or go for who's a stand against that. And now I think that stand is even stronger, that they're in it together. So the Latino community has supported Kennedy a lot, and I do think this is a stronger choice now.
Well, let me ask you this. Will you be supporting Donald Trump? Let's just be direct about it.
Yes, absolutely. I've always liked Trump. I always looked up to his success and the huge success he had with the economy. And I liked Kennedy because I thought it was important to have a third party, to have a voice for that. I know the country has always worked with like two main parties, and I just like that idea. But I think both of them are a lot stronger, and our main thing is we want him to have a position, right, in Trump's cabinet,
which I think he will. Secretary of Health and Human Services somewhere, maybe oversee the FDA somewhere. Okay, so you had an organization as the head of Latino Outreach for RFK Jr. You had an organization, you have grassroots. What do you do to apply those folks to supporting Donald Trump? And honestly, Gabby, what do you think? Is it 50%, 60%, 80%? What do you think the conversion rate is going to be from those who are RFK supporters in the Latino community that are going to support Donald Trump now? Because look, I think a unity government is transformational in this country potentially. What do you see?
It is transformational. It's very inspiring. I would say definitely more than half. I mean, look, there's still Latinos who are believing the narrative that the DNC has about Trump being a dictator, and that's a very dangerous narrative. But unfortunately, there's still many Latinos who are believing that, and those are the ones we need to win over, right? Especially in that convention, we saw them saying things like that over and over and over again. I was surprised. I thought they would tone it down because he was almost assassinated last month, but apparently that it didn't matter.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that. Let me ask you this, because this is a really important thing that's come up in two states now, and I want to ask you how the Latino community feels about this. Because when I talk to Latino folks, including my wife, the illegal immigration thing is a very big stick, a problem that makes people angry that came here legally. And I bring this up because in California, they're not trying to pass legislation to give massive, cheap loans to illegals only. Citizens not allowed. Same thing in Oregon. Housing that would normally go to young Americans is now being set aside, earmarked, if you will, for people that came into this country illegally. How does that sit in the Latino community?
Very bad, actually, because a lot of us came here and did all the right things, the very expensive process that it is to apply for a green card, take the test for citizenship, do that whole process. And when we see the wrong behavior being incentivized, right? You break the rules, you break the law, you're here illegally, but you have all sorts of incentives to continue breaking the law because they're rewarding you. It's heartbreaking. I don't think anyone would have expected for something like that to happen. I'm not sure what message they're trying to send with that, but for me, it's just common sense. It's human nature. If you incentivize behavior like that, someone who's breaking the law, then you're just gonna get more of that, right? And I think for Latinos, we are definitely the ones who are the most affected by it because we think it's a joke, it's insulting.
Well, we certainly hope that your folks at the RFK Jr. campaign headquarters, closed as it may be or suspended, use your operation to reach out to the folks that were supporting you and say, look, in order to move forward, we cannot allow the Democrats who have cheated every step of the way to get power in November. Gabby, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.